Yo, what's good, people? It's Jay Cactus, and we're back again with Cactus Convos. We're on episode 9 right now, and I've got another real special guest with me. He's an incredible producer, a sick musician. He's been killing it on YouTube, killing it on Twitch too. He goes by Chris Punsalan. Chris, what's good, my bro?
What's up, man? How are you?
Yeah, I'm all good, man. I appreciate you coming on. I know you've been crazy busy recently, so I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm honored. I've just been seeing you kill it everywhere, dude. Like I told you through the DMs, but like your branding is like it's so on point. I mean, you got the cactus behind you, you got the dope hat. Your YouTube channel is killing it. So I respect what you're doing, man.
Thank you, man. It's still kind of new to me. I only set up the channel about a year ago. I mean, I've been involved with music for years. I've been making music for over 10 years, but YouTube is just something that's kind of new to me still, so I'm still learning along the way. But yeah, I appreciate you saying that, because the branding thing is, I think to me, personal brand is one of the most important things when you're running any kind of business. I'm sure you found that along the way as well, just developing like you know, your personal skills, your personal brand. Just you as a person are a brand, right? So yeah, I just figured that was one of the most important things to think about.
So what, let me ask you this, what made you, since you've been making music for 10 years, what made you want to start a YouTube channel? Obviously, there's a bunch of opportunities on YouTube and stuff like that, but like, was there a person that inspired you to start, or was it a business decision?
A mix of both, to be honest. Like, I started making music maybe when I was around 14. I always just had a love and passion for hip hop. Like, I just listened to it non-stop. I had friends that were producers. I started off as a rapper, like way back in the day. And it was just something that I loved to do. It was never something that I thought I could do as a career. And I think that's down to, you know, when you're in school, you have parents and teachers telling you that it's not like a real thing and you need to go to university, you need to get a job. So that's kind of how I based my life. I was like just listening to other people, and I didn't, even though I loved hip hop and loved music, I didn't really see it as a career, because maybe I didn't believe in myself, or I was just told that you can't make a career out of it. So I followed the normal path, got a job, you know, the standard 9-to-5 office life. That was after university as well. And then maybe after like 5 years of working there, I was just like, yeah, you know how it is, man. Why not? I'm just going to a job every day that I don't like. I've got no passion for it. All I'm thinking about all day is music. It's all that I really wanted to do. And it was just watching other channels. Like I'd watch you, for example. I'd watch someone like Chucky Beats. I'd watch all of these different YouTube channels. And I think, you know what? Like, these guys are actually making a living off what they love doing. And that's my dream. And I don't know why it took me so long to figure it out, but I was just like, you know what? I'm not getting any younger now.
Yeah.
I don't want to get to like 50 and look back on my life and regret not at least trying. And at the point when I left my job, I had like a bit of money saved up because I was looking to buy a house. And then I thought, you know what, if I buy a house, I'm just going to be still in this job, except I'm just going to be in a house that I own. So let me use this money, just take a big risk. I just quit my job. I didn't really have like a proper game plan. I was like, fuck this, I'm just quitting. I'm going all in. And I just used the money to invest in a bit of equipment, just focus on everything. And I didn't really know where it was going to take me, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going for it. And then fast forward like a year and a bit, I'm here. So it's been kind of wild.
Were you making any money from music before you quit your job?
No.
No, nothing.
Nah. I told everyone that I had a plan. Everyone was like, what's your plan? I was like, oh, don't worry about it. But I didn't really have a plan. I knew that I was going to do YouTube. To be honest, at the time, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to try everything, try all social media platforms. I was listening to like a lot of Gary Vee and watching a lot of Producer Grind podcasts. So I was kind of doing my research, and I had like background sales experience and marketing experience. So I kind of knew in some ways where it was going to take me. But I just thought at the start, I'm just going to try everything. I just try all social medias, post on YouTube, post on Instagram, post on TikTok. And then when one of them started working, I'd like double down on that. So I was doing like type beats, doing like Instagram posts, you know, like playing along to the keyboard when the beat's playing, like the usual stuff that you see on Instagram. And then, YouTube, like tutorials. That was the one that I saw growing pretty quick. So I was like, right, let me double down on this, invest more in this, like make the tutorials better. So yeah, that was it really. Just trying a bunch of different things until one thing stuck. So it's been a
That's
crazy
dope, man.
year.
I fuck with that. So many different opportunities with all the platforms that you listed, especially TikTok right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, YouTube tutorial. I mean, making tutorials for producers on YouTube still like it's been a thing for a while, but I feel like there's so much opportunity because there's new producers every day, and
Right.
you know, there's some producers that haven't found that producer on YouTube that they really connect with or that they
Yeah.
really understand. So, you know, there's probably subscribers on your channel that only watch your content because they only like the way you explain things is only understood because of the way you explain them, you know? And they
Right.
might you
Yeah.
might be the only producer that they look up to. So there's so much
Course.
opportunity.
Yeah. Well, how about yourself? Because I had a look through YouTube and I was kind of surprised because I looked back and I saw the first video was from about 5 or 6 years ago. I was having fun watching them old videos, but you started off as just like pure vlogging, didn't you? It wasn't really like music based at that point.
Yeah.
What was the kind
wasn't
of idea for you? Was
music-based
it
at
just something
all.
that you were interested in, or how did it all start?
Yeah, man, I just wanted to document my life because like I love home videos. Like I love the videos that my parents would take when I was young and I love watching them. So I wanted
Right.
to make my own. I wanted to document what I was doing throughout the day. I was making music at the time, but I never thought to like show the camera what kind of music I was making or what the process was or anything like that. So I showed every other aspect of my life, like going to the gym, going to school, you know, hanging out with family, shit like
Yeah.
that. And then like one day I was like, let me just film myself like making a beat or something. And it didn't take off right away. I think it took a few videos for, you know, the production stuff to take off. But once I started doing more and more music stuff, I started doing less vlogs because like the music stuff was doing well.
Right.
So then, you know, fast forward like 3 or 4 years later, like here I am still making like, you know, content for YouTube for producers.
Yeah. So when you started back then, like how long have you actually been making music? Because you said it was around 6, 7 years ago when you started that YouTube channel, but you were making music before that anyway.
Yeah, so I started making music in like 2011. I started also as a rapper.
Right.
You know, I feel like most producers start off as rappers.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and I needed beats for, you know, for my song. So I couldn't really afford beats at the time. So I just, you know, decided to make my own, and that's how I started making beats.
That's crazy.
It's such a typical story, bro. I feel like every producer says that.
That's how it is, though. We've got a lot in common, most producers, don't we? So a lot of the starting stories are the same. But were you playing any instruments at the time?
So I played violin for a few years. I was in orchestra. You know, I started as first chair and I slowly like crept back into I ended up like being last chair my last year of middle school. Cause I didn't have really an interest for it anymore. And then I took piano lessons for a couple years, or maybe not even a couple years, just a couple months.
Yeah.
But everything else is like I've learned guitar through the internet. I've learned how to play piano through the internet. You know, I'm about to pick up the bass in a little bit to start learning bass. So everything has been done by learning from the internet.
That's crazy. Because when I watch your videos or when I watch you on Twitch, it just looks like you're classically trained. Like you can just play. You know what I mean? No, serious. Obviously, I was only tapped in for a little bit, but it just looked like you were just sick on keys. And I thought that you would have just played from being a kid, and you know, it's always just kind of followed you up. But I guess if you were playing violin, it helps in some sense, doesn't it? Obviously not the same, but just playing any instrument probably helps you learn anything else.
Yeah, it helps your ear and just helps you understand music in general, like music theory and just music in general. It gives you a better sense of you know, chord changes and how to play in time and all of that. So it definitely helps.
Of course, definitely. So just going on to YouTube, you were starting off with the vlogs, and then when did you see some traction with the music production tutorials? Was it maybe like a few years ago? Like how long were you doing vlogs for before you started noticing a lot of, well, basically the views picking up?
So I started making vlogs in I think it was like 2014, right? So then I didn't start making YouTube like production focused videos until 2017.
Right.
And it wasn't until like maybe the end of 2017 where I started to see like growth. I never really had that overnight growth like how some producers have seen. It's always been like a steady grind. Like I'll get 1,000, like my average will be 1,000 views, and then my next average will be 2,000 views, and then 3,000, and then 4,000. Right. It's always been a slow growth, which, you know, at the beginning I was kind of, I wouldn't say I was upset, but I would just be like, how come I'm not growing the way these other producers are growing? But now I kind of see it as like it's helped me grow into like just a smarter content creator and just an overall better musician and producer, because like nothing came overnight, and I would just always have to grind to get to where I am. So I can never, you know, nobody could ever say like, oh man, he grew like out of nowhere. Like, no man, like look at my track record. Like my shit, I've been putting out videos for a long time where I would get barely any views, and my subscribers haven't gone up crazy like that ever. So I'm very happy with the growth that I've achieved, because it's like it's just been slow and steady.
Of course, it seems weird because a lot of people, like you said, they'll have that one video that just spikes and they get like, it goes kind of viral, and then on the back of that to get a whole bunch of subscribers. But I can't remember whose podcast it was. I was listening to you talk about it, and you were kind of saying you're gliding away because, you know, if you had that one video that got 1 million views or somewhere along them lines, then you'd be expecting that for every video. And if the other ones didn't perform as well, then you'd be like, shit, like what am I doing wrong now? And you'll obsess over that one video that does so well.
Yeah, exactly. I completely, I mean, I don't know if I said that. It sounds like something I would say for sure.
It was something along them lines.
Yeah, like if you, if you grow, like if you get 10,000 subscribers tonight, the next night you'll be like, oh shit, how come I'm not, where are the 10,000 subscribers? Like I should be getting 10,000 every night, or I should be getting 1 million every video. So yeah, I completely agree. I think if you're slow and steady, you also build a stronger community as you grow. If you grow slow, because like those people will stick around, and it seems like people like to stick around the smaller communities rather than like, it seems like the small tight knit communities stick together, but like the channels that take off overnight, it's like just a lot of random people and not really like close knit people. So
right, yeah, that makes sense. And I suppose when you've got a smaller community, it's easier for you to engage with them and respond to everyone's comments, and you know, respond to their DMs on Instagram. Like you can't just build up that community, rather than if you have a huge channel and it's like hundreds of thousands of just random people. There's no way that you could just speak to them or even know who the regulars are, because there's so many different people all the time.
Yeah, it just gets too overwhelming. I always made it a point to reply to every single YouTube comment I would get, and every single DM I would get, because like there was a point where nobody wanted to comment on my shit, you know? There was a point where nobody wanted to DM me and chat. So I try not to take advantage, or I try not to take it for granted, because you know, all of this shit could go away tomorrow, and I'll be upset that I didn't take advantage of it when I could have. So,
of course, yeah. And those people remember that as well, because, like you said, if you've got all these comments and you're not responding to anyone, not showing anyone some love, you're not replying to any messages, like at some point these people are going to be like, "Fuck this guy! I show him too much love and I don't get anything back, so I'm just going to bounce."
Yeah, they just move on to the next. Yeah, exactly, bro.
But replying to every single comment though, that must take quite a lot of time, but it's probably worth it. Do you know on average like how long you spend just replying to comments and DMs? Because I know it can get crazy.
It gets pretty crazy sometimes. I always like to schedule time out of my day to respond to DMs and comments. I just make it like a cool little, a fun little thing for me. Like I throw on some lo-fi music, put it on in the background, and you know, drink my coffee and just respond to comments. The downside, however, to responding to every comment and looking at everything that you get is that you can get your ego stroked in one comment, and then the next comment you get completely obliterated. So there's ups and downs, but obviously there's more support than negative out there. So I'll take the good with the bad. It is what it is.
It's just one of those things that's expected. Like there's always going to be that one guy in the comments, and it's usually someone that's it's one of the things that I've never understood. Like I've always been the guy to like show people love. I've never been that guy that's just hating for no reason.
Yeah.
But to like go out of your way to go on the internet and just comment some weird shit about someone, it's just so weird. It just makes me think that this person must be so like unhappy to spread that negativity on someone else's page just to try and drag them down to their level. It's fucking weird, really.
I feel bad, bro, because like I've in my entire life, bro, I've never been the guy to like go to a YouTube video, not like what the person is saying, and go to the comments and just like hate on them. And it's so hard for me to understand that. But I guess, you know, you have to be super unhappy to be that type of person. If I don't like something, bro, I will just I just exit out.
Just move on.
It's just that simple.
Yeah. I wouldn't even click the dislike button.
So,
even clicking the dislike button is just a weird way of just expressing that bad energy.
Yeah, it's weird, bro. But you know, they're in a bad place, and you know, we can only hope the best for those people. And it's always, more often than not, it's always people that don't have anything on their YouTube channel. You know, like it's just a random picture, or it's just their letter, the letter of their first name, and then there's no content, nothing. So they're just like anonymous.
Yeah, they don't want to be known. They don't want to show their face. It's always some random anime picture, and they do it to get a response. Like maybe they're lonely or something.
I'm sure you get.
Some response.
Do you get any like hateful comments on your stuff?
Luckily, not many. Like when I go through, it's usually like 99% good, and then like just the 1%, there might be like one comment that just says something that's not even constructive. It's just like, this is shit, or just some kind of personal attack. So I don't think about it like in any type of way. If sometimes I'll just reply and like just show love, just even be kind back to them, because I've had that before, like, when someone's like DM me and said something, and I've just been like, killed them with kindness in a way, and then it kind of turns them around, and they might be like, you know what, I was just having a bad day, my bad. It's weird how you can flip them.
Yeah. It's weird. Yeah, it's so weird. It's like, like what you said, they're just looking for a response, really. And sometimes like I've gotten negative comments, and I respond, and they're like, "Oh, I was just saying that because I wanted you to respond." But it's like, why would you? I'm going to respond regardless. So like, why would you put that out into the world? I don't know, man. It's something that I'll never understand.
Nah, it's a strange one, definitely. I think there's a little lag between like me speaking and you picking it up, but
a little bit.
Catch it.
You wanna? Should we keep going?
We can keep going as long as you can hear me okay, yeah.
You know what's fair? I want to go on a tangent a little bit. I love when shit like this happens on podcasts, because it makes it seem so real to me.
Yeah.
That like the people that are doing the podcast are just regular humans, like just trying to figure it out. And like, I just love when shit like that happens.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, well, this is something that I've been trying to figure out, because I was trying it on Zoom for a while. And Zoom, like the quality is just terrible on Zoom. Like I always had issues with it, so I was looking for like a different service, and then this Riverside came up. This is what I'm using now, and it's pretty good because it will record locally, so it will use your internet to kind of upload as it's recording, and it will use my internet to upload my camera as it's recording. So then at the end, you've just got this file that's already set, and it records in HD as well. So it might have been blurry earlier, but it's fine now.
Is this a free service?
No, it's not too expensive though. I think it's like $40 a month. So if you do podcasts like regularly, then it's definitely worth it compared to using something like Zoom. But yeah, it's not free. There's not many free ones out there that actually recording. I don't think there's any. I couldn't find any that record in HD.
Yeah, so I mean, I know of one that does audio. It'll record both participants' audio, but it won't do video like this. So.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, if you can get the video too, do you upload a video version of this?
I do, yeah. So I've got a separate YouTube channel for it. Which, let me ask you this, because I know you've done a few podcasts in the past. I didn't know whether I should really create a separate channel for podcasts. I ended up doing it because I thought people are coming to the tutorial channel because they want to see some tutorials. And then if I upload like an hour-long podcast, they might not watch it. And then I thought, if people aren't watching that, it might affect like the next video that I upload, because the watch time will be down. I don't really know exactly how the YouTube algorithm works, but do you think that was the right thing to do, to create a separate channel? Because now it's like starting from scratch again. I think so.
I think, yeah, I definitely think it's. I think that's a good I think it's a good move because, you know, in the future, you know, these you call them cactus conversations, right?
Yeah, cactus convos.
It might turn into something, it might take on a life of its own, you know?
Yeah.
So, and it might be separate from your YouTube channel, and your main YouTube channel might turn into something that you won't even expect. So I think it's good to have both, because then people are getting what they expect. I also think, I've also thought of this theory, that like if you're training, like if you just upload everything to your main channel and maybe all of the content isn't, like all the content you post isn't exactly what the subscriber came for, you're kind of training them to not click on your videos. So when you upload something that is in sort of like their interest realm, they won't click it because they're just designed to not click on your videos anymore. So I don't know if that's true or not, but it's something that I always think about.
No, I think that definitely makes sense. I think with anything on YouTube, I think just making the subscribers' experience just easy and as enjoyable as possible is just key, isn't it? So if you're uploading random stuff all the time, then people, yeah, like you said, they'll get used to not clicking on it. They won't know like when to expect the good thing. Whereas if you're just focusing on one particular thing, you know that these people are coming to your channel for that one thing, and you just stick to that one thing, then they know what to expect every time, and they're likely to click on every video rather than it being random shit all the time, and they might have to click on like the 5th one before it's actually something that they enjoy watching. So I think that makes sense.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with David Dobrik, but literally when he was uploading, everything he would upload is something I would click on because I kind of already knew what to expect. Like, I'm already a fan of all the videos that he put out, so any video that I would see from him, I know it's a guaranteed banger, so...
Yeah, definitely. Is that who you got some inspiration from then?
Oh, 100%. I think with his... just the way everything is so quick and it's just straight to the point, and nothing like he doesn't really linger on a moment too long. I think I learn a lot from that. So yeah, I actually copied that, like, because every video of his is 4 minutes and 20 seconds, and I did that for mine. I made every video 6 minutes and 50 seconds, just because like I thought it was a cool branding thing.
Yeah.
So that's where I got that from.
That's interesting.
But I stopped that since. But yeah, I think he's like, you know, somebody to look up to, because I think the algorithm, I know everybody wants to talk about YouTube algorithm, and everybody wants to talk about that they know exactly what the YouTube algorithm is fucking doing. I just think it's watch time. You know, I think it's clicking and watch time. I think it's as simple as that. I think if YouTube sees that people are watching a majority of the video, they're going to push it out to everybody else. I don't think it gets any deeper than that. You know, I don't think like there's like all these crazy theories of what people think the algorithm is, but I just think it's watch time, man. I think if people watch your videos, they're going to push it to other people.
Yeah, facts. No, I agree. Because if you think about it from YouTube's end, it's like they want people on their platform so that people can watch ads, so that then they can sell more ads. So if people are on your channel watching your video for the longest duration possible, then it's basically just telling the algorithm that this person just enjoyed this video. And I think, yeah, you're right. I think it's just as simple as that. Everyone's always trying to hack the algorithm, and YouTube never release all the data, so it just doesn't happen. Because I mean, you can fuck around with like SEO tools, which I used to do in the start, but I've found that the more I focus on a video, the more like I stress about SEO and doing all these keywords. Like, it just doesn't work like that. I find that the videos that I haven't really thought about as much, I've just kind of put it out there, and it's been a title that hasn't really been anything to do with SEO. They've kind of performed better than the ones that I focused on more.
Yeah, it's just because like it's probably a super entertaining video that people watch all the way through. Like I don't know how many times I've talked about this damn video of yours, but the video that you made for Cable Guys. I only watched it because it was on their website, and I was doing research for my video that I was making for Cable Guys.
Yeah,
but dude, I watched the entire thing like 4 or 5 times because like it's super entertaining. It's straight to the point. It's like a 15-minute video, I think, or something super long. But it's just like you're not really like BSing on it, and it's just straight to the point. You show everything that you're talking about, and it's just a good video. So I think if people just put out quality content, which quality is super subjective, like quality in my eyes and in your eyes is two completely different things.
course.
But I think if you just make content that people enjoy and will watch thoroughly, YouTube will reward you for that.
Nice. I appreciate the comments on the video, man. So is that the first time you heard about my channel? Just going through the Cable Guy site?
Yep. First time I ever seen. And I was so surprised that like you had only 22,000 subscribers. Well, at the time you only had 22. And I was like, this is like a quality, like this dude has everything, like everything was on point with the video. I was just so surprised that I'd never heard of you before.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, it hasn't been that long since I've had a channel, so I'm still kind of learning along the way, still, you know, learning all the tricks, just trying to put out as much content as possible. And yeah, I mean, if you go back to like my old videos, I kind of look like maybe a little bit more awkward. The quality isn't that good. I had a camera, but I didn't really know how to use it. I just put it on auto and hope for the best. But once you start learning how to use things properly, like even the lighting and the settings on the camera, like you can improve shit so much.
Yeah, 100%. So you had no background in like video editing or video producing before this YouTube channel, right?
I knew how to do videos because back when I was rapping, I would I'd edit my own videos. I'd get someone to record me, but again, we just kind of have the camera on like autofocus. We didn't really know what we were doing with the camera, but then I knew how to use Adobe Premiere, so I had like some editing experience, but I hadn't done it for a long time. So when I jumped to tutorials, I had to like, you know, watch the video editing tutorials again. But you kind of pick things up again, don't you, if you haven't done it for a while, and then you just watch a video on it.
Yeah. Have you thought about going back to being a rapper and kind of just taking on that lane?
I think about it sometimes, but I think I feel more creative producing these days. I think when I was young and rapping, I had a lot more to talk about. I had all these experiences, like just doing fun life shit when you're a kid. But when I started working in the office, I was like, I'm just in the office now. I've got nothing to talk about. And I just kind of lost the creativity, but I found it easier to produce. But I think now that I'm back doing music and this is what I'm doing like for a living, I think, I think maybe at some point I'm going to blow the dust off the mic and start recording again, but we'll see.
Man, I don't think that would be a bad idea, bro. I mean, you built this platform for yourself, and like, I'm pretty sure your audience would love to hear some bars from you over your own production. I think that would be incredible.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I've got a separate channel where I upload like type beats, and when you go like right back on that channel, there's some early videos. I've deleted most of them, but there's a couple like there's a couple still on there. And sometimes subscribers will like message me and they'll be like, "Yo, I didn't know you rapped. I've just seen this video from 7 years ago." So some of them actually do find it, which is kind of cool because it's on a completely separate channel. But yeah, maybe, man. I've got the audience there now, so it might be interesting to see what they think.
I would love to see that, bro. I think it would be incredible.
Thank you, man. So how about you? Are you still recording?
So I went into this phase of my career where I wanted to like make full songs and like become an artist myself. Yeah. Where I was like playing around with autotune, heavily inspired by Travis Scott and Kid Cudi and Kanye's 808s and Heartbreaks. So I tried that and I made an album and I was planning to do a single every single week for the entire 2020. Yeah. But you know, my plans got shitted on as did everybody else's. Of course. So, and then now I've kind of just fallen back into like how I was before, where I'm trying to make a lot of beat tapes and just get my streaming numbers up through just instrumentals themselves. It's just, I find myself like doing different things at different times in my life. Like last year, this time last year, I was like doing something completely different, and this year I'm doing something completely. I'm just always trying different things to see what I enjoy. So, but it's always been based around music. So I think, you know, and this year for sure, I wanna hit that 100,000 on
Bro,
YouTube.
You're real close. What you want now? About 98.
Super close. Yeah, about 98. And I just want to hit it because I want the plaque. I've always wanted that fucking plaque.
Of course.
So
have you saved the space for it in your room? Where are you gonna put it?
It's bro, it's right. I got it. I'm looking at it right now. I'm just waiting for the plaque, and then after 100,000, I won't be thinking about it until I get 1 million, because then you get another plaque. Yeah. So I just really want the plaque. I don't really care about the number. Like, I just want the plaque.
Yeah, of course. It's just that I don't know what it is. It's just like it's an achievement, isn't it? It's one of them things everyone wants when they start a YouTube channel. It's like, right, I'm 30 now. I've got the plaque. I'm official. You know what I mean? Even though it probably doesn't make any difference to how many people are watching your videos or anything. It's just a good personal achievement.
Yeah, it's just nice to see, you know, all your hard work in one plaque. And it's just, you know, something that you can look back on and be like, because like you can have 100,000 subscribers, but like seeing it on a computer screen is completely different than seeing it up on a wall.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I want that plaque. So hopefully this year we can get the plaque. That'd be cool.
Definitely. So, well, you're going to be there real soon. I don't know how long it's going to take for me. Maybe a few more years. We'll see.
Bro, you know what's crazy? You know, do you know Ed Talenti?
Yeah.
Producer Ed Talenti? Yeah. So he was, I think he started his YouTube channel 2 years ago, maybe. You know, and like to see him grow it into like into the producer and the content creator that he is now, it's amazing, man, because like he's at like, I think 70-something thousand subscribers.
Jeez.
His average for views is up there in the 10,000s for sure, and he's just killing it, man. So I think it could very well happen for you as well. And same for Simon Servita. I remember him commenting on my videos before he had a YouTube channel.
Really?
Like he was commenting, before he even like was putting out content like that. And now look at him. He's got like 4,800,000 subscribers and like doing crazy shit. Yeah. So it can happen for anyone, man. Of
course, man. Yeah, it's insane how fast those two have grown in particular, especially like Simon Servita. I think he was just recording everything on a phone at the time. We didn't even have a proper
just
camera.
On his phone.
So it just kind of, it goes to show, doesn't it? Like everyone, because I was the same. Everyone's always worried about starting because they don't have the right equipment. Like they're just thinking of excuses. And then he just goes and shits on all of that and just proves that you can do it all with a fucking phone. It's crazy.
Yeah. You don't need much, man. I get DMs all the time of like, what kind of camera should I use? Like, what kind of equipment should I buy?
Yeah.
Like, none of that matters. Like, it's just about how you use it and not what you're using.
Even like Nick Mira,
it's such a
remember
cliche.
when he was doing videos, he just had that like blue screen. It was just a little square in the corner. Like there was no like big production quality. It was just entertaining because his beats were crazy.
I for some reason I remember an era where nobody even knew what Nick Mira looked like. Like he was on the Internet Money channel, and not even posting his face. I think it was just showing the screen.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm imagining that correctly. Yeah, but like he didn't even show his face for like the first few years that we knew him on YouTube. So it doesn't matter, man.
Show. Of course.
Yeah.
Are there any other things that you're aiming towards? Like obviously that plaque's coming soon. Did you have dreams of getting like plaques with working with artists? Do you have a BeatStars channel as well? Because do you upload
not
beats
anymore?
there?
Well, I did have an Airbit channel or Airbit store. I was selling beats for a little bit. Like when I first started making YouTube content, that was my main hustle. I was trying to sell beats on Airbit. I don't know if this is a BeatStars this is a BeatStars exclusive. No, I'm kidding, but like I was selling beats on Airbit, and that was my main hustle. And then I stopped selling beats because I realized that like 98% of my audience were producers.
Yeah.
Like none of them were artists trying to buy beats. So I was like, why am I even, what is the point of doing all this work if my audience isn't like the audience that I'm even selling to?
Right.
So that's when I switched to like making samples and making kits for producers. And that's when I really saw some incredible growth money-wise because I started catering to my audience.
Yeah.
So that's why I stopped selling beats. I respect that hustle so much because like it's tough, man, especially with how many producers are selling beats on BeatStars and Airbit. It's like it's a hustle, man.
Yeah, yeah. It is a hustle. Like you said, there's so many different people with type beat channels, but nowhere near as much tutorial channels. So that's why I've probably seen, because I do both at the moment. I have a type beat channel, like I sell beats online, and I do the other side, catering towards producers. But it's like 90% of my business is the catering towards producer side, and then the other 10% probably comes from selling beats. And it's the same kind of thing. Yeah. I've been thinking like, all of my content, or the majority of my content, is aimed towards producers. Most of my audience is producers, so I've been thinking about that a lot as well. But I always wanted to be able to sell beats online. I always wanted to like work with artists, have artists on my beats. So yeah, I'm kind of stuck with that one. I think I'm just.
Do you have plans do you have plans of working with like with other artists in the future? Or I mean, I guess it's part of the plan now, but like, do you ever see yourself just focusing on that over YouTube?
I don't know about just that over YouTube. I think I'd always stick with YouTube regardless. But I do like having artists on my beats. I do like to hear that finished product. And it is something that I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah.
Like I've got a few placements dropping this year. I'm working with this one girl who's just been signed to Sony over here. So there's big things coming for her. And we've got a good few tracks coming out. And then, yeah, I'm trying to just juggle both at the moment because I don't just want to drop one. I don't want to drop the selling beat side and working with artists and then just go all out with this. So I'm just trying to juggle both at the moment because even like the beat selling side is growing at the moment. So it would be foolish to just drop that right now. But then again, sometimes it can be good to just invest like all of your time into one thing. I don't know. There's perks and downfalls to both because if you invest all your time into like one particular thing, if that starts dipping, then you've got nothing to fall back on. Whereas if you're doing both, like if drum kit sales were slow one week, then at least you've got the beat sales to kind of balance it out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's but I think what the most important thing is that you just don't stop.
Yeah.
Like, obviously taking breaks is important. I'm not saying like you need to be grinding 24/7, 7 days a week. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like just keeping the momentum going and like and slow taking it one day at a time and making sure you just put in some sort of work. I think that's just the most important thing because like I've seen people just overthink it sometimes.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
they're like, let me just take a break from all of it to figure out what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like I want to take a 3-month break, not post anything and just like figure it out. And then they'll come back and end up doing the same thing because like they just realize like, oh, what I was doing was working already.
Yeah,
it's just I just had to keep doing it. So,
It's just a patience thing, isn't
you
it?
just got to keep. Yeah, it's just a patience thing, man. It's so important, bro, especially for producers because like nothing is overnight with us, man. Like
No.
of course you can have a song blow up overnight, but everything takes time, dude. All good things take time, always. That goes with anything, man.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, I think having this like this website where I can sell drum kits and everything, that it just allows me to kind of be in control of my business. And then the side where I'm working with artists and putting music out, that's like it's a lot more enjoyable. I'd rather like see a finished song rather than a finished drum kit, if that makes sense. It's more exciting to see a finished song in a music video rather than to bring a drum kit out. Even though I still like doing it, I still like getting into sound design and everything, but yeah, there's just something about having an artist on your song because a beat's just like, unless you're doing like an instrumental tape, a lot of the time.
So when you were working with that, oh no,
I think there's a lag again.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
There we go. I can hear you. Oh, I remember. I did have a question for you. So did you work with the artist that you said you were working with? Did you work with her in person or was it just strictly online?
Yeah, this has been online. I know like lockdown's just made it so hard to link up with people. Like I don't know what the rules are like over there, but they're real strict here right now. And a lot of the artists that I'm working with are based in London, so traveling to London or like from London, because I'm based in Manchester, which is further up north in England. So it's just been real tricky to connect with anyone. But I guess that's the blessing of Instagram. You can do most of the speaking through there and WhatsApp. So yeah, that one artist in particular, her manager got in touch with me. He just found my beats through YouTube and then messaged me on Instagram. We got talking. I sent some beats over and they worked on quite a few. He manages a few different artists. So one of them did some like music videos to my beats. They're already out. And then the other one that he's managing has just been signed to Sony, but we haven't released our records yet. So I'm just waiting for them tracks to drop. Hopefully it's going to be sometime over the next few months. So yeah, she's like one of the main ones I've been working with. And then I'm in a group called Everyday Empire, which is like a group of producers. And we always collab on different things. Like we send each other loops, like share projects and everything, share ideas. And that's been like a gem for getting placements because there's one guy in there, a producer called Westy. Shout out to Westy, man, because he's been hooking me up a lot recently. Like he goes out of his way to try and get us placements. So we'll all cook up, use each other's loops, and then he'll send them out to the artists that he knows. So I've managed to like sell like quite a few beats recently to like big artists, just using that little network of people where we can collab. So it's not just me getting placements, it's like this whole group of producers is getting placements. And I feel like that's key. Like collabing with other people is just so key, because you never know who that person is going to send that track to. You never know who they're going to speak to. So instead of you just trying to speak to everyone, collab with someone else. They speak to everyone as well. And you're just doubling your chances
100%.
of landing placements.
Yeah, man. I couldn't agree more. As soon as you were saying it, I was getting goosebumps because like I just agree so much because like, and first of all, I fuck with producers heavy who just put other people on because they understand that there's enough for everybody to eat. Right. There isn't. I don't agree with that mentality that like it's just you and like if you like there's not like them thinking that there's not enough for everybody. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and there's so much opportunity out here for all producers that just helping each other get on is like that's just the way, man. That's just I don't know how else to say it, man. That's just not the only way, but it's like other producers putting each other on. It just makes me so happy because like there's enough for everybody to eat.
Yeah, and it's like why not? Everyone. Why not help? I feel like in the producer community, there's a lot of positivity, but then there's a lot of negativity. Like people judging everyone. Like let's talk about this. So even just little things like using loops from a pack or just, I don't know, like producers always want to get another producer like, oh, you used the loop from the Cymatics pack, or you did this, or you didn't even do this. You know what I mean? There's always something that they're nitpicking when it's like nobody gives a fuck. Like the people that are listening to this music do not care how it was made, what loops we used, what samples we used. It's always producers that just want to pick out other people. Don't get
our own people. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, like dude, it makes no sense, bro. Like, and the fact that hip hop was born from sampling other songs. It's like that's the origin of hip hop. Yeah, that's how we started putting loops on top of each other. And to see it now, where producers are shaming other people for doing that, it's unfortunate. And it's like it's just that weirdo shit, man. I won't get it. It's like if it sounds good, then it sounds good. There should be nothing else to be said about that. Because like if you're in the club or wherever you are, or you're in the car and you hear a song and it sounds good, nobody like the regular person is not thinking like, holy shit, this is from Arcade. Like I'm not gonna listen to this anymore.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? I don't know what it is. I don't know like why there is this negativity. It's like I think people are so focused on other people. Like it's like they hate to see other people winning. It's like a jealousy thing, maybe. I don't really understand it, but maybe if people just spent less time worrying about everyone else and just focusing on their own craft, like however they want to do it, then you'd probably get somewhere a lot quicker. I feel like you're just slowing yourself down if you're just worried about what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, 100%. I do agree that there's a majority of the producer community is positive, but you'll always find pockets of people that are just negative for no reason. Like I found myself in a Twitter hole the other day of like producers hating on each other, and I always find myself in these weird Twitter holes, and then it makes me question like why I even go on Twitter in the first place. Like before I even open the app, I'm like, I know I shouldn't be on here because it's like there's always negative shit that I find. But yeah, I just found like this weird pocket of like producers hating on each other of like, and it's there's no point. It just doesn't make sense.
All that energy they spend just like going off at other people. If you would have just taken that 5 minutes and laid some drums down on a beat, then maybe you'd be one step closer to your goals.
Do you ever feel like when you're creating, do you feel like if you only use like 5 or 6 instruments, do you ever feel like it's not good enough? Do you feel like you need to add more to the beat because it just it can't be that minimal? Yeah,
definitely. I think I do tend to overproduce quite a bit, especially in drill, because a lot of the beats that I make are drill beats, and in drill beats there's kind of a lot going on. There's like fast hi-hats, there's all these different effects and transitions and stuff, so it can get kind of busy. But yeah, I'm like that. Like sometimes if I think a beat's kind of finished and I look at it and it's just got like 5 different things, I'm like, nah, there's no way it can be finished. I need to add something on there. Maybe just throw some arcade vocals on or just anything.
Something.
Yeah. But I've kind of learnt this, so if you work backwards and you start with an acapella, like, for example, that artist I was talking about, the one that I've been working with, that's how I worked with her. So her manager would send me an acapella, and I'd work around that, and maybe a reference beat or something. And then when I worked like that, my beats would be so much more simple because you can already hear the finished product. So I'm not just adding to it for the sake of it. I've already got that vocal there, which most of the time is the final thing that you need. So when you're thinking about adding that extra layer of whatever it is, what it really needs is vocals.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more. And I'm glad that more producers are doing that now. Because you see on Twitch, like everybody's using acapellas and like throwing acapellas on to beats because it just makes it sound finished.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can literally just have drums and bass with vocals on it and it'll sound finished.
Yeah.
So
a lot of the times when you listen to music that is maybe charting right now, like if you go on Spotify and look at the top playlists and you actually listen to the beats when it's a finished song, you'll find that a lot of them are actually quite simple. The ones that get placed are the ones that are quite simple. I feel like producers, we just like to impress other producers.
Yeah.
That's like, I think that's real common. We do all this extra shit to impress other producers.
100%, bro. I that's how I am on Twitch. Like most of the people that watch me on Twitch are producers.
Yeah.
So I feel like a majority of the time I'm just making music that they'll enjoy. Yeah. But like, you know, it's well, actually, you know what? It's crazy because like the kind of music I make is a majority of the people that listen to it are producers. So it's kind of because I make that lo-fi, you know, chill kind of stuff that you play in the background.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that listen to that are producers. So it's just a weird balance of like making something that's good enough, that's just good enough, without adding the like a million other things on top of it. So it's hard to find that balance, but I do think adding an acapella always is the #1 way to figure out if your beat is finished or not.
Yeah, it's a good way to test it. I suppose for us, for people that are creating content for producers, I guess there's no surprise that we're trying to impress producers because we're trying to impress our audience. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes in tutorials, I might do like a lot of extra shit just because I know someone's going to watch it and be like, oh, that's a cool trick that he did, or I've learned that trick now. So I guess in some instances, it's probably okay because you do want to teach someone something and impress them in some ways. But if you're just trying to get placements and you just want to make those beats that are potentially going to sell, get artists on them, then keep it simple.
Let me ask you this, because I've been curious about other producers in different, you know, everybody has a different lockdown situation. But let's say like we didn't have this lockdown. Like, what do you think you'd be doing right now? Like, what would be different about the way you'd be going about things?
I'd like to say a lot of things would be different, but I don't think they would be. I think because when I made the shift of like from leaving my job and going into this full time, I told myself I was like 100% like on this. I was like fully dedicated. I wasn't fucking around. I wasn't going out on like crazy nights out anymore. I wasn't doing any of that shit. I was just so focused on this. I just became so obsessed with it. Like I always loved it, but I just became like so obsessed with it. And in any of my spare time, I'd be like listening to podcasts or reading about something or just, you know what I mean? I wasn't really like resting much. So I can't imagine what I'd be doing. Like if lockdown was lifted, I'd still be doing the same shit. I wouldn't be going out on weekends. Maybe the only other thing that I'd be doing is going out for food. That was like my one favorite thing to do. Just go out for a nice meal. And I'm missing that. And I know it's like bad because there's a lot of people in horrible situations right now. But for us, for content creators, all of our audience are at home watching videos, watching YouTube. So it has been beneficial for content creators, which is obviously good in some ways, but it's horrible for some people because not everyone has that luxury. You know what I mean? A lot of people are in shit situations right now. But how about you? Do you think you'd be doing anything different?
Honestly, I don't think so, man. I think I'd be doing the same thing. Honestly, the lockdown is what made me find a studio because I was, you know, in my house for however long the lockdown was, and I was like, I need my own space that I can go to just create, because like creating in my house is like I'm in here all day, so I need to separate work from home. So I'm obviously privileged, and I'm not in the situation that other people are in, and I know people are in way shittier situations. So I recognize that I have privilege, but I think the lockdown is what made me get a studio outside of my house, because I was like, I need a space outside of my house because this shit's driving me crazy. But I was more so asking because like I wonder if you would be traveling to different places in England right now to like work with other producer or work with other artists if there wasn't a lockdown.
Yeah, no, to be honest, in that sense, I would be traveling. Not loads, like I would be doing it now and again because there are producers that I'm working with at the moment, and you know, we spoke about it a lot and been like, yo, if we didn't have lockdown, we could have just got in a session together and cooked something up, because there's only so much you can do like through the internet. It's just a different experience when you sat down with someone and you're sharing ideas rather than sending it on WhatsApp. So yeah, I think there would be times where I'd be traveling and working with people. Definitely.
Yeah.
Where's your studio then? Is it quite local?
It's about 10 minutes away from my house, so pretty close. And yeah, I love it, man. I think if anybody is thinking about getting their own space to create, and they're worried about if it's worth it or not, I think it's 100% worth it, because
I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah. And not that you can't build your own empire, quote unquote, from your bedroom, because I mean I did that shit for fucking my entire career until now. So not that you can't do that, but if you can't afford it and it's something that you've been thinking about, I definitely think that it's something that people should invest in, because you know, having a space that you dress up and you get ready for and you go to, and then like you turn off the lights when you're done and the work is like finished and you leave your work there. It's just something about it that, you know, it just helps your work ethic.
I suppose you go with the right mindset, don't you? Because it's easy.
Yeah.
I do struggle with that sometimes, because I mean, like, when you're just doing everything from inside your house, sometimes it is hard to separate like work from being at home, isn't it? Whereas if you go into a different place, like you're getting yourself in that mindset, you're putting on your clothes, you're stepping out the door, and as soon as you get there, it's like, right, I'm here to work, nothing else. Whereas at home, you've got distractions. Like I might go down, make some food, or my dog might be barking at the door, and then I'm playing with my dog for a bit, just some random shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely distractions being at home. So did you get? But I don't want. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask if you got the studio space to. Was it just to kind of work by yourself, or was it to pull people in and do recording sessions and work with other producers?
Yeah. So at first it was to bring in other artists to the studio. Because you know the lockdown wasn't too crazy, and I was just making sure that everybody was tested before they came through, and all that shit. But then slowly I started to realize like that it didn't really spark my interest anymore. Like I did it for a couple months. I wanted to work with artists, and then I slowly started to not want to work with artists because I wanted to build my own brand of like instrumentals, and I wanted to do this whole lo-fi thing and like build my own streaming numbers with my own instrumentals. So I don't invite anybody to the studio anymore. One, because like lockdown is kind of getting a little tighter now. And two, I just want to focus on my own brand, you know, and not that you can't by working with other artists, but I want to go like the El Dre route. I don't know if you're familiar with El Dre, but he's he's killing it right now, and same with Lucian and all these other producers that are just putting out instrumentals and doing really well for themselves. So I think less now. I don't really want to work with artists at the moment. But to go back to what I was gonna say was, I don't want anybody listening to think that a studio is gonna fix. It's gonna make everything better. Like getting your own space is not going to guarantee anything. Like if you have a shitty work ethic right now, and you like not getting a studio is not gonna help your shitty work ethic. You kind of have to have some shit going for you mentally before you can get a space like this. So
yeah, definitely.
I just wanted to be clear, because I don't want people to going out and spending money and then realizing like, holy shit, why is it not working for me? It's probably because you just have your work ethic isn't up there yet. So
yeah, no, you can kind of treat it as not a reward, but a thing that you've earned, where it's like, you know, you've done all this stuff within your own bedroom, you've grinded for this many years, and it's just like the next step. It's not one of the things where it was like, right, I need this to succeed. It was just the next step, kind of naturally, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It goes back to the Simon Servita thing. Like he built his channel with just an iPhone in his bedroom, or in his extra bedroom. So you don't need anything, man.
No, that's facts. Going back to working with artists real quick, do you ever think it's kind of hard to find someone that's maybe on the same wavelength, or someone that has the same work ethic as you? because I feel like when you're working one-on-one with an artist, I feel like I want someone that is on the same kind of grind. Like, I want you to put in the same amount of energy that I'm putting into this. I don't want you to put out a track now and then relax for a couple months and then call me and say, yo, I want to come record again. Because part of me is like, right, I'm working this hard to kind of build up this like personal brand and build up this platform. And then it's easy for people to just kind of dip in and out of it. You know what I mean? And use you and leverage you for your platform, if that makes sense. I know it sounds a bit dicky, but
no, I get it, man.
I think
I 100% I agree with what you're saying. I think it's hard. It is tough to find people that I don't want to say work as hard as you, because that sounds a little bit dicky. But I think I think finding people that are on the same wavelength as you is like, as far as like work goes, like you want to find people that take work as seriously as much as you do.
Right.
You know? So I think it is tough, and I think that's what's tough about working with artists in person, because like if you don't know the person beforehand, it's tough to like get in the studio with them and like try to create some magic, because you guys might not get along. You guys might not make the kind of magic that you thought you would.
Of course, you need to vibe, don't you? You need to be bouncing off each other. That's how the real magic happens.
I think it's important to like have a relationship with the artist before you guys even work, because you got to make sure that you guys have chemistry together, because if not, then the music isn't going to be there. Yeah,
100%. Well, let's talk about like social media real quick, because I know you're active on quite a lot of things. I'm not really active on Twitter. I know you said that you go on Twitter. I don't know if you post on there that much, but what are you doing right now in terms of like being consistent and posting? I know you posted on YouTube a lot. You're active on Twitch. Are you active on anything else? Do you go for TikTok, like Twitter, any other platform?
Yeah, so I would say TikTok is probably next to YouTube my number one priority, because of the opportunity on there. Yeah. There's so much opportunity on TikTok, and the discoverability of TikTok, it's like it's crazy, man. Like, I still think it's underrated, because I don't think everybody has really fully understood how much opportunity is on TikTok.
Right.
And a lot of people like to hate and say like, oh, there's just kids on there, you know, like, oh, there's just this and that.
Yeah, there's not anymore.
That's not true at all. It's not anymore, now. Bro. Everybody's like, there's so many people on TikTok and so much opportunity. So the way I go about it is Twitch is how I produce content nowadays. Like I'll have segments planned out for Twitch, because I know that I'm going to cut them up into YouTube videos.
Right.
But after I cut them up into YouTube videos, there's always like 5 to 10 little pieces that I can take for TikTok, and I'll make those for TikTok.
What are the pieces you take for TikTok?
Just the funny bits and like just the stuff that I can squeeze into 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And then I also, you know, do the trends on TikTok, and I kind of put my own spin on them. Sometimes like producer based, like I'll take a trend and then I'll like flip it into like a way where like producers can relate to it.
Right.
And
smart.
and use sounds that are popular and kind of like remix them and make them my own, because like, you know, we make music at the end of the day. So like, why not do that? So I would say TikTok is something that I'm super heavy on, and I think every producer should look into making content for TikTok, because there's so, like I said, there's so much opportunity out there.
Yeah. And you were going to say something before I jumped in.
I think I was going to mention. I think no, it's all good. I think I was going to mention TikTok and just because like I said before, there isn't an app like TikTok right now where you can just continuously scroll and find new people all the time. Yeah. So your chances of being seen by other people is so high that it'd be insane to not throw your hat in the ring and try it.
Yeah, it seems like the reach on something like Instagram is terrible compared to TikTok, especially.
Oh, 100%. Everybody's saying that Instagram is going to be killed off by TikTok this year, and I can kind of see that, because the discoverability, like, there's no, like, unless you're a really popular creator, there's no way you're going to get discovered from the explore page on TikTok. Yeah. I mean, on Instagram.
On Instagram.
So.
Yeah. Well, Instagram are trying to take over TikTok, aren't they? It's the same thing they did with Snapchat. So years ago when Snapchat was popping, I think Instagram actually wanted to buy Snapchat out, and Snapchat said no. I read this somewhere. I don't know if it's like 100% right. But because they said no, what Instagram then did was introduce Instagram stories. And
Yeah.
like when they did that, I feel like Snapchat definitely died out a bit. Like not as many people are using it anymore compared to what they used to. And I feel like they're trying to do that with TikTok because they've introduced Reels, haven't they?
Yeah.
On Instagram. So I wonder how that's gonna go. I wonder if like Mark Zuckerberg will have his way and it will take over, or if TikTok's just gonna be like, nah, it will kind
We'll
of
see,
stick around.
man. I mean, are you on TikTok right now? Are you making content for TikTok?
I'm not. I should be. I did at first. I didn't really know like what to make. I was just trying like loads of different things, and then like I was saying earlier, because YouTube was doing good, I thought let me just go all out on YouTube. But I think I shouldn't sleep on it really. I think I should be posting on TikTok.
Yeah, man. If you just spend like a couple hours, like, and just call it research and development, like just sit on your couch or whatever and like just go through TikTok and see what the trends are and see what's funny and see what's not funny and see like the language, because there really is a language that you have to learn.
Right.
You can't just like, because a lot of people, they think that they could just take like the stuff from their YouTube and just kind of like post it on there and see what happens. Yeah. But you have to, you have to like, contextualize it to the platform. So
of course,
go through TikTok for like a couple hours and see how you can spin it and make it your own.
Yeah. I think you do it a real smart way though, because you've got Twitch as your main thing, and then from that you can kind of break it down. I'm guessing that you take content from your Twitch videos to upload to YouTube, and then you take content from that to upload to TikTok. Is that how you do it? You have that one main form of... Oh shit, have I lost you again? Yo, he's still there?
Yo, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me? Oh shit. Oh fuck.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yo.
I'm gonna try to switch the Wi-Fi.
There we go. Yeah. So I heard what you were saying. You were saying the Twitch is like the main source, and then I take everything and upload it to YouTube.
Yeah. Wait, I think I lost you then. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh shit. All right, okay. Yeah, I was just saying, I think you do it the smart way because you have Twitch as the main source, and then you take that content, upload it to YouTube, take smaller pieces of content and upload it to places like Instagram and TikTok. Is that how you work then? You get that main content and then take micro content.
Exactly. And the reason I do it on Twitch is because I can interact with the community in real time, which allows for more content. So like sometimes somebody in the chat will like ask a question, and then we'll go on like a 15-minute tangent of just answering that question and like kind of talking about different topics, subtopics that come up with it, and then that'll be a video in itself. And I'll just knock out like a bunch of different videos for YouTube all at once.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a gem because a lot of people will think
it works for me right now.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of people will think that they have to create different pieces of content for everything. And that's probably why people don't try everything, because they think that they have to sit there and think of TikTok ideas and think of separate Instagram ideas and separate YouTube ideas. But if you just have that main content source and then take bits from that, you save yourself tons of time.
Tons of time. And but the most important thing is to contextualize it to the platform. So when I download the Twitch video, I don't just upload the Twitch video, the Twitch VOD to YouTube and kind of like pray. I take segments of it, add extra video on top of it to give context to what I'm talking about, and then I'll add different pieces to make sure it's one cohesive YouTube video instead of just like throwing the entire thing on Twitch and like just hoping for the best. I make sure that the segment is contextualized and everybody understands what's going on within this video, so that it's a really good experience instead of somebody just like, well, this is just taken from Twitch. Like why would I want to watch this? No,
that makes sense. Do you have someone that edits videos for you and puts everything together, or are you doing that all yourself?
So I cut down. So yes, I work with some editors now, which is something that I'm still trying to figure out because you know, for my entire YouTube career, I've edited everything myself. But I'll take the 2-hour video from Twitch. I'll get all the segments. I'll cut it up and trim all the fat, and then I'll send that trimmed down version to the editor so they can punch it up, add some funny edits, some zoom ins, and all that shit. And then they'll send it back. I'll add a few more things to it, and then I'll upload it myself.
Yeah, that makes sense. I bet it was kind of hard to pass that on to someone, wasn't it? Because I think that's gonna, like, at one stage, that's going to be what I need to do, is pass the video on. But letting go of that thing, I bet that's tricky because you're so used to doing it yourself. You know how you edit the videos, but it's almost like your baby, isn't it? But then when you pass that on to someone else to, you know, do their magic, I bet it's kind of hard.
Yeah, man, it's difficult, man, because like you said, these videos are my babies, you know.
Yeah.
And like it's hard to just give somebody the control. So, but I've also had to realize that like if I don't hire these editors, then my YouTube video is gonna take a hit because I can't do everything.
Right.
And you know, if I'm trying to take over, trying to kill it on YouTube this year, there's like I can't let myself get in the way of growing. So. It's something that I'm struggling with, but I'm trying to get over it.
Yeah, I mean, it's natural to do it. There's only so many hours in the day, only so many things you can do. So how do you usually balance the schedule then? Do you have a set schedule every day where it's like, right, this hour's focused on this hour's focused on this? Or is it different all the time?
Yeah, so I plan out my day the night before because my full-time gig isn't even making content and making music. It's taking care of my grandmother. That's what my full-time deal is. Yeah, so I'm a caretaker for my grandmother, and I only have like a couple hours, a couple pockets throughout the day where I have time to work. So I have to schedule everything because if not, everything is gonna go to shit.
Yeah,
and I will just be super unorganized the entire day.
Yeah.
So my number one priority is taking care of my grandmother, and then around that is content and making music.
Man, that's amazing. So not many people would even think that, would they? Because just looking at your social media, looking at all the content that you post, you think that this guy just never stops working on content. But to say that that's the second thing, and the content is your grandmother, then yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, big respect for doing that though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, family comes first, doesn't it? So
yeah, it was tough to balance at first, but I think it's just like with anything that you love, man. You'll find time for whatever it is that you enjoy doing. Like people will find time to hang out with their friends, but will say that they don't have time to do this and that. Yeah. But I just think it's because they don't enjoy it as much as they say they do, you know? Like people will, like, if you know, they'll find time to do anything, bro. Like anything other than what they say they're interested in. So that's why I always preach, like, find that thing that you enjoy doing, that you can't see yourself like living unless you do that thing. And that's when the magic happens, because like you'll find time for it, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I think you're definitely right. Like people always make up excuses about why they haven't done something, but it does come down to how bad you want it and how much you enjoy doing that certain thing, because everyone can find time to scroll through Instagram and watch Netflix seasons and everything. So there's obviously time in the day to do it. But if you really actually love that thing that you were talking about, then you'd be doing that instead of watching Netflix and scrolling through Instagram. So definitely. So talk to me 100%. About...
I think that everybody has that. I think everybody has that thing.
Yeah, my bad. I think there's a bit of a lag in the connection again.
It's all good.
It's throwing us off.
I don't even remember. This is so hilarious to me that we're trying to we're trying so hard to keep it going. Damn, I was really curious about what you were gonna say.
Shit, what was I gonna say? I think I was just gonna to ask you to talk a little bit more about Twitch, because it's one thing that I've been thinking about getting into, but I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. And it seems like live streaming is just the way forward these days. Like I see so many people doing it. I should be on it. I think what was putting me off doing it is because I'm not one of them producers that will sit and make like 10 beats in a row, and I'm like real quick at making beats. Sometimes it's quick, but sometimes I might spend 2 hours making one beat. And I was just thinking, people don't want to sit around for 2 hours watching that. And with YouTube, you can obviously chop up the content and make that 10-minute video. But with Twitch, everyone's watching it live. So how do you keep it interesting? Like, are you the same? Do you spend a while making one beat?
Yeah, it just depends. I think sometimes it'll take the whole Twitch stream, which is 2 hours, to make one beat. And other times I can knock out a beat in like 20 minutes. So it really just depends. it's hard. I'm still struggling to find that balance of keeping it entertaining, but also like doing what it is that I set out to do, which is make a beat, which is make a complete song. So it's something that I'm struggling to find balance in. And like recently on the last stream, I was having a hard time creating because like everybody in the chat was suggesting something, which isn't something that I really enjoy. Like it's hard for me to create when you have a million people saying like, oh, you should add some delay to the hi-hats. Oh, there's a little bit too much reverb on the guitar. Like maybe you should do this. It's almost impossible to create like that.
Yeah, because then I imagine
I'm still struggling
you feel
to
like
find
you
a
have
balance.
to do
but
that.
I think
then,
if you're thinking about doing Twitch, exactly, because they're in the chat requesting it, so I have to honor that. But I think if it's something that you're thinking about, you should definitely do it. I think people wouldn't mind watching you sit down for 2 hours to create an entire beat.
What kind of things do you do to keep it interesting then? Is it, because I bet people just go for the experience, don't they? And they go there because they're able to like speak to you live. So is that one of the main things that you'll do? You'll just try and engage with people as much as possible. And that's the thing that keeps it interesting.
Yeah, I just try and engage as much as possible. And also I found that people are making friends through the chat. So sometimes they'll just be talking amongst themselves while I'm in the background, you know?
Right.
And a lot of people I found also just they put it on while they're working, like while they're doing something else. So they're not even paying attention to the chat or really what I'm doing. They're kind of just listening to what I'm creating and not even involved in the chat at all. So yeah, it's been interesting for sure.
Yeah, man, it's definitely something that I need to get on. Do you think that's the future then? Do you think at some point YouTube's going to die out a little bit? Or do you think YouTube's, because it's been so solid for so many years, everyone's always just gone to YouTube to watch videos. Do you think it's going to be like that continuously? Or do you think it's going to die off at some point? I guess it's just impossible to know, but do you think live stream is going to, in some ways, take over?
You know what? I always have this conversation with other people. I don't think YouTube will ever die out. I think YouTube will always remain king over everything else because like it's because of like the amount of videos that are on YouTube. Their database of videos is like it's so deep that nobody could really ever compete with YouTube. Like a Netflix or a Hulu or a Quibi, that new company that came out for a little bit. I don't think anybody can fuck with YouTube's like database. Like they just have so much content that I just don't see. I don't see Twitch taking over. I do see Twitch sticking around for a while, but definitely not taking over.
Yeah, that makes sense. And obviously not everyone's there at that time to watch that live stream. So with YouTube, I know you can rewatch Twitch, but with YouTube, you can obviously just go whenever it's convenient for you and watch whatever video you like.
Yeah, it's YouTube will. I don't know, man. What could you think of anything that could like really kill YouTube, quote unquote?
I couldn't think of anything because people are always going to watch videos. Like, people are just always going to watch it. It's fun to watch something live, but like I was just saying, like, you don't always have the time. You're not always available at that specific time to join in on the live stream. So, you know, YouTube's always going to have them videos there for you to watch in your own time. So I can't imagine anything taking over it.
Yeah. It's just, it's crazy how YouTube, like, it's crazy to think of life without YouTube, you know? It's almost impossible.
Yeah, 100%. Have you ever had a full-time job before this? Was music, like, did music quickly become your main source of income, or have you had any full-time jobs before?
Yeah, so I've worked at a lot of different places, like McDonald's and some retail stores, and I worked as a student worker in when I was in university. And I'm only saying university because I know that's what people over there say. So, but yeah, I've had a lot of different jobs, and thankfully, I I had to stop working because I had to really start taking care of my grandmother. So it was
Right.
a blessing because she's the reason why I was able to have so much time to spend working on music and other things. So
Yeah.
I never had that leap of faith that people will say, you know, like quitting their job to do music full time.
Of course, yeah. That's interesting to know. So where do you see things going with yourself in a couple of years? I don't know how far you plan things out or if you've got certain goals, but let's say maybe in just a couple of years' time, have you got any plans for where you want to take everything?
Yeah, it could go a million different ways. I definitely I want to be really popular. I want to have a lot of monthly listeners so I could be completely independent and like have that be a nice chunk of change for as far as income goes. I think I just want to be independent. I don't want to be tied down to anything.
Yeah.
In the future, like I want to be able to create content, but like do it anywhere I want and from wherever I want. So if I want to travel to like the UK and like just fucking get an Airbnb for 3 months and be there, like I want to be able to do that and still be able to create content and make a living that way. So I just want to be fully independent with what I do. That's where I see myself in 2 years.
Yeah, definitely. I'm quite similar to you in that sense. I don't like anyone really telling me what to do or me having to rely on anyone else for something. I just like kind of being left alone, kind of doing what I like to do. So yeah, I think that's the main goal. Do you find it hard to think of new content because you obviously post a lot? But do you find it hard to think of new things? Because I know you don't in a way do like tutorials where it's like how to make your kicks hit harder. You kind of just, it's like more of a cook up session, isn't it? And then you break that down. But do you ever run out of ideas and then some days you go in and you're like, shit, I've got no idea what I'm actually going to record today, and you're kind of scratching your head?
Yeah, I think that's why I'm so grateful for Twitch because before I was going live on Twitch, I did have a problem with coming up with video ideas because I just felt like I've done everything already. Like I feel like there's a tutorial for everything. But when I'm on Twitch, let's say we talk about email etiquette for like 10 minutes on Twitch. It's easy for me to turn that into a YouTube video because it's already made. Yeah. It would be hard for me to sit down and make an entire video about email etiquette for producers. Yeah. But because I already did it on Twitch and I already interacted with the community about it, like it's already finished. So I feel like it's just easy for me to make it a YouTube video. So that's why I'm super grateful for Twitch because I feel like there's unlimited creativity when it comes to that. Yeah,
that makes sense. It's much more natural that way rather than just sitting and planning everything out. And then the ideas are there for you. You don't even have to think about it. So yeah, it's definitely a good idea. What are the ways to monetize on Twitch? I haven't really looked into that properly yet.
So there's a lot. Like you make money from the ads that people watch. You make money from when people subscribe to your Twitch channel, which gives them access to like special things like emotes, and they get to watch your videos ad free. Donations, people like to donate on there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like just donations through subs and through ads. So and I found that like people really love, like, especially when you're a big Twitch streamer, like your chat, your message will get lost in the chat. So what people do is they donate to the Twitch streamer so that their message will be played on screen, and then the Twitch streamer will actually see it and they'll read it out loud. So if somebody has like a question that they've been dying to ask this person, they could just donate like, a quick $5 and the Twitch streamer will see it because, it pops up on their screen. Right. That's cool. It's like a queue jump, isn't it? Yeah. Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
So how about, whilst we're kind of on the topic of monetizing, from like a business perspective, what else do you do in terms of marketing yourself? Do you use email marketing? Have you ever ran Facebook ads, YouTube ads, any other form of ads? Like how do you run the business essentially?
So I was running email marketing for a little bit, but it was hard for me to keep up. because I was just focused on a million other things. So I stopped focusing on email marketing. I used to run Facebook ads. I'm not really that knowledgeable in Facebook ads, so I stopped doing that. I think everything, a bulk of my marketing, quote unquote, just comes from posting on other platforms like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. I haven't really dove into doing pre-roll ads or any sort of marketing like that. But I'd like to hire somebody to do it for me, because I just don't want to sit down and learn all of it.
Yeah, I mean, Facebook ads, I haven't dived into Facebook ads yet, but I think when I eventually do, it'll be me like paying someone to either educate me on it or to just kind of take control of it all, because a lot of people think it's just a case of, right, I'm just going to boost this post and I'll get some sales. Like maybe I've got a drum kit, I'll just run a Facebook ad and it'll get sales. But man, Facebook ads is like a whole thing in itself. You could probably do like a full 3-year course just on learning everything to do with Facebook ads, like learning the language to use, what type of ads to post, how to, find that like real niche audience. Like there's so much involved with it. It's a crazy world. And I just haven't had the time to kind of sit down and just study Facebook ads yet. It's a whole nother world.
Yeah, it's a completely different world. I remember like just trying to boost posts for like $20 and like hoping that it would do something for my business, but it would never work out the way I wanted it to.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're right in what you're saying though, like, because social media is just so powerful without even running ads. And if you can just build up a personal brand through posting content, a lot of the times that can be enough. Maybe at some point you can invest in ads, but if you're doing everything like you're doing, like you're active on Twitch, you're breaking that down with micro content to post on Instagram, to post on TikTok, you're building up an audience, you're engaging with your audience, speaking to them all, replying to all of the comments, all of the DMs. It's a lot of work, but a lot of the times that is enough to run a business as a content creator. It's crazy to say it, but it kind of is.
Yeah, 100%. And I think because I get questions all the time of like, yo, Chris, how do what's the best way to market my newest drum kit? Honestly, what has worked for me 100% every single time is putting out something for free, like a free kit, and maybe collecting emails or having people follow you in exchange for a download link, and then putting out paid your stuff that you want people to pay for. Just putting out free stuff in general is just always a good idea for newer producers. So it's something that's always worked for me.
Yeah, 100%. It's something that's worked for me as well. I tell people the same all the time. I think you should always lead with value no matter what it is. And then once you've given enough value, then you can ask for something back. Like I always tell people in email marketing, like the way that I set it up was the first thing that I released was a free loop kit. And I had email marketing set up on the back of it. So whenever someone downloaded a free loop kit, I'd have a string of 5 emails. So the first email would be something like, thanks for downloading the loops, like here's the link, blah, 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 just introducing myself. The second email would be something to give more value. It might be something like, do you struggle with beat block? Here's a couple things that I usually do when I get beat block. The third email might be something like, what was my third email? Oh yeah, it was something about sound design, saying that I've been getting into sound design recently. I've been creating a lot of 808s. Here's some free 808s. So again, just giving them more value, giving them a taste of what I'm creating as a sound designer. And then in one of the last emails, so you've given them like 3 or 4 emails worth of value. In the last email, you can then try and sell them something. So you're like, oh, did you like the free 808s that I gave you? If you did, then you'll love the full pack. You know what I'm saying? Something along them lines. And that's definitely worked for me.
Yeah, exactly. It's because like, especially if I don't know who you are, like I kind of want to test drive your sounds before I invest my money into your other stuff. So yeah, man, it's just the best way to go about gaining new customers. Just the free stuff. It always works.
100%. Well, yo, bro, I know you have to get off in about 10 to 15 minutes. So I know we've been through quite a lot. We've managed to get through everything. So just before you bounce, is there anything that you wanted to share with the audience? Is there anything that you've got coming out soon? Any new drum kits, any new projects, or if you just want to let people know where they can find you?
Yeah, man, if you're interested, just type in Chris Punsalan on anything, and you'll find me. I don't really have anything coming out. I think what my thing to say to your audience is to support the creator that you love as much as you can. So if you're a fan of J Cactus, make sure you like his stuff and comment on his stuff and comment on the YouTube video and press the like button, because that shit really does make a difference for us, you know? Like, even if it doesn't have to be with money. Showing your support keeps everybody going. So that's what I want to leave us off on, is like, I want to tell your audience to like support you as much as you can, because if they listen this far, that means they fuck with you. So go like the video, go comment, go share it with other people, because that's how we grow.
100%, man. I appreciate you saying that, but that's just straight up facts. It doesn't always have to be with money. Not everyone has money to spend on kits, which is fine, as long as you're watching the content, even just clicking the like button, dropping a comment, showing any form of like free love like that. It definitely helps us out a lot. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
The same way, anyone that's listening, definitely check out his Twitch channel. I tapped in the other day. It's real entertaining to watch. Like I said, I thought you were just like a real musician. I thought you were classically trained, everything. There's some skills there. He's dropping gems. He's engaging with everyone. It's definitely real entertaining to watch. So check out the channel. Check out everything else. Show him some love. And bro, I appreciate you coming on the show. We'll definitely keep in touch too.
Thanks, man. This delay is wild, bro. But thank you, man. I appreciate that.